We have several comedians coming up today, and Bubblepop Unplugged is here. So, are you ready to get up here, Bubblepop? We can start with you. Start on a high note.
Absolutely. I sound
All right.
Hey, y'all look great. And I lost my. I was speculated on a few things I wanted to share with you, and one was I had this crazy thought. See, I saw this documentary on ancient Egypt, where these ancient tablets that they discovered, they tell how humans came from Mars. Now, how crazy is it going to be when we land on Mars, the first astronaut steps out, and there's a lady tapping her foot up and down with folded arms going out for a pack of cigarettes, huh?
Excellent.
You said you'd be right back. You said, don't worry, I'll feed the plants when I get back. Yeah, maybe that astronaut better have a dozen roses and a big box of chocolate. Things could get ugly. And the other thing I wanted to bring up is, I want everyone to sit down for this. Alright, everyone's sitting down. I have brought proof with me that a time machine has been invented. Yes, I brought pictures. I found them on Google. This is very exciting.
Cat voice.
I'm sure y'all wonder if there really was a time machine, and some have speculated on it. Stopping animations? Stop animation? I don't know.
You could leave the sim. I bet they'd stop.
Maybe a time machine. Alright, here's the first picture I brought. This is as you can see, a picture of Alexander the Great, who stormed around.
Looks like Leif Garretson.
Yeah, well, actually, I found out and did some photography comparisons, and believe it or not, Alexander the Great was actually Owen Wilson. It's quite obvious. And the next picture I got here, you'll see is Genghis Khan. Okay, now Genghis Khan was this really badass who could kill people with bare hands, and he'd tear off their heads and he'd wear them on his belt. And do you know who else was a really badass guy who had a brown leather belt? It was Mr. Miyagi from The Karate Kid Part 2.
Yeah. Wash on, wash off.
Yeah, this is proof, y'all, that there really is a time machine. These celebrities. My next picture here is, as you can see, is Goliath, or no, David taking on Goliath, right? And David is there, and he's running around with no shirt and in his underwear. And it occurred to me, do you know who else runs around with no shirt and in his underwear? As you can see in the next picture, it's none other than Justin Bieber. That picture gives me Bieber fever. Alright, next picture. As you might know what this picture is, it's the Sphinx, right? I don't think it's any coincidence that the Sphinx just happens to look just like Steve Martin.
It's him.
Yes. And then the next picture I got here is Joan of Arc. And as you can see in this ancient picture of her, she's here with her curly red hair, but it's tied in the back there. And then you see her arms and chest area are actually pretty thick. She's very well buffed and was quite popular with the public. And it occurred to me, as you can see this next picture, it's actually Carrot Top. Yes. Joan of Arc is actually Carrot Top. And then the next picture I have is the Queen of Sheba. Now, the Queen of Sheba was this fantastic lady who had this fabulous big hair and these fabulous clothes to die for. And then it hit me, and I compared pictures, and sure enough, the Queen of Sheba is actually RuPaul.
RuPaul. Woman mentioned RuPaul last week.
This next picture is the best picture I could find of Socrates, and Socrates was this guy who I guess he experimented with drugs. He had this wild and crazy sex life, and then he would go out in front of public and say these totally outrageous things. And then it hit me, and after photo comparison, Socrates is none other than Mayor of Toronto, Rob Ford. Without a doubt. I have one more. Alright. You recognize this next picture as a popular figurehead known as Jesus. And Jesus was this cool dude that had a lot of friends and everything, and he walks into the city and the police grab him. No probable cause, no search warrant. They just drag him and they fast track him through the court system and find him guilty and execute him and everything, which that alone will prove that Jesus was actually black. So Jesus was actually Snoop Dogg, as you can see in this picture comparison, if he was black, which also explains a lot of things. Like if you've ever looked at a picture of Jesus, have you ever noticed it explains why he would always be flashing gang signs whenever he's pictured?
Boo.
And, yeah, that's definite proof that a time machine exists. And I'll be looking for more proof this year. And one last thing. I'm sorry, but his name is not Snoop Dogg. He changed it to Snoop Lion, right?
Boo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I hear he's going to change his name again after swallowing a 4-foot graphics water bong. Snoop Lion is going to change his name to Snoop Giraffe.
Boo.
And don't forget to have a happy Turkey Day this week if you celebrate Thanksgiving. If you don't, you should have a happy day.
Thank you, Bubblepop.